What's going on, everybody? I am back at the VoltedAdventures testing grounds, and you know what that means. We have another review video. Big shout out goes out to isinwheel for reaching out to me and asking me to review one of their off-road electric scooters. This is the GT1 model. I'm going to go over everything there is to know about the scooter. We're going to talk about the specs. We're going to do a speed test. We're going to do a brake test. I'm going to ride around and talk about the riding experience. And I'm going to take it on a little off-road adventure because it is an off-road scooter. There will be chapters down below, so feel free to skip around to whatever part is of interest to you. Let's get started with the specs. So what we got here is the isinwheel GT1 off-road electric scooter. It features an 800 watt hub motor in the rear, coupled with a 48 volt 10 amp hour battery. This should give you a range of up to 28 miles, depending on riding mode and riding conditions, of course. We have mechanical brakes plus electronic ABS, 10-inch off-road pneumatic tires. We have a front fork plus dual rear shocks. That's always nice. This scooter can fold, of course, for easy transportation and gets attached to this bracket in the rear. Up in the front we have some LEDs on the board, a decently bright headlight, turn signals, and an active brake light. The weight of the scooter is 52.25 pounds with a max load capacity of 330 pounds. And up on the handlebars we have our front brake and finger throttle. In the center we have a nice color display, and on the left side we have a rear brake, our on-off button, mode selectors, headlight switch, turn signals, and a horn. And that is pretty much it for the specs. Now, as far as the price, this scooter is currently on sale for $549, which is kind of amazing considering the fact that they claim it does 28 miles an hour. We're going to test that. It has dual suspension in the rear, a front fork, color display. Those are pretty good things that kind of raise the price. So $549 sounds too good to be true. We're going to be testing all of that. But first, I want to show you the starting procedure. By the way, I didn't mention this, but the scooter itself is rather tall. Like, the handlebar is tall, but it is a short wheelbase, which is, it's kind of cool. It makes me feel like this is going to be very nimble. And I went ahead and installed the little storage bag that it came with. You don't have to do it. For me, I thought it's kind of cool and I wanted to show it in the review, so just so you know, it does have that storage bag. But let's go ahead and get started with the starting procedure, which is very, very simple. You just have an on-off button over here. Hit that. Couple seconds, the screen will go on. It has this cool little animation. I don't know if my camera will pick it up. And we are on. This scooter has 4 modes. 1, 2 is called Eco, 3 is Standard, and 4 is Turbo. Let's go ahead and get started with the speed test. We'll try mode 1 and see how fast it does. Ooh, so it's got nice torque right off the bat. Now, mode 1, as in all electric vehicles, will give you the most range. Obviously, it's going to be the chillest mode. Unfortunately, I don't have my phone mount with me, and I don't want to hold my phone on the scooter. It's kind of sketchy, so we'll have to rely on the scooter speed. And the scooter shows 9 miles an hour in mode 1. Let's go to mode 2. Oh yeah, more torque right away. And the scooter is showing 15 miles an hour. Alright, not bad. Now let's try mode 3. Might have to close my visor over here. It's starting to get windy. Oh yeah, not bad at all. Definitely moving. 21 miles an hour is what the scooter says. Alright, now let's try mode 4. Hopefully I have enough room over here. We should theoretically get to 28 miles an hour. We're at 25, 26, 27, 28. Dead on 28. All right, amazing. Very good to see that it actually reaches the advertised speed. Again, I don't have my phone to compare it to GPS, but that felt fast. All right, and that was the speed test. Now, one thing that this scooter has is cruise control. So you hold down the throttle. I don't know how long this is for. Let's see. Oh, there you go. Now I can let go of the trigger throttle, and we are in cruise control, which will obviously get disabled as soon as you tap the brakes or hit the brakes. That is pretty cool. I like having these features. I recently reviewed an e-bike that had that feature, and that's pretty cool because you don't have to keep your finger on this finger throttle. Now let's go ahead and try a brake test and see how these brakes perform. Now these are mechanical brakes. They can be adjusted, and they will get better in time as they bed themselves in. And there is a bush coming up to the right. I'm gonna hit the brakes in 3, 2, 1. Wheels locked right up, and we're looking at somewhere in the vicinity 20 to 25 feet. But let's give it one more try for science sake. Second attempt, hit the brakes in 3, 2, 1. Looks like same result. Alright, and that was the brake test. Now as far as riding this thing, it is fun. If you guys follow my reviews, I say the same thing all the time. On these things, 25 miles an hour and faster just feels like you're absolutely flying. And it feels like you're actually moving, which is always nice. And this thing has good enough torque. It's very maneuverable. And soon we're going to test its off-road capabilities. As far as the suspension, it is a little stiff. You can kind of feel it. It definitely doesn't feel like a scooter without suspension. A scooter without suspension, you know, my voice would be like da 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 da. I wouldn't be able to speak. Now it is a little bumpy. It's not the craziest suspension in the world, but it is existent, and we're gonna see exactly how it performs right about now. All right, so now let's do our off-road test. I mean, you're gonna hear my helmet shake and my voice shaking. This trail is super bumpy. Camera never shows, but I want to see how does this scooter hold up. How does the suspension feel? Oh, look at this. So we got auto throttle on. It's kind of scary. I'm just gonna modulate it. I want to see how these tires perform. And we have our first major obstacle coming up right here in the form of this mini little hill. And it conquered it. Now again, it is a little bit of a bumpy of a ride. I wish the suspension was a little more plush or softer, however you want to call it. But we're flying through this trail. Cool thing about this scooter is it could be used for whatever. You don't have to get it just for off-roading. You can get it for, you know, short commuting, last mile commuting or whatnot. Okay, we are towards the end of this trail. I want to see how did the frame hold up. Oh yeah, it is a little bumpy, not gonna lie. A little bumpy. I wish the suspension was a little bit better. Let's go ahead and stop over here and check out everything. So you're hearing the bag making noise. That's what's making noise. Other than that, everything here is still solid. This is solid. Tires are still good. Alright, and overall it survived my little mini off-road test. Given it was a little bumpy, I wish the suspension was a little bit softer. I don't think there's a way to adjust it. If the suspension was a little bit softer, like 20%, 30% softer, this would have been a much better ride. It was a little bumpy, I must say, but overall I like the scooter. Now, one thing that I must say that I'm not the biggest fan of is that index finger throttle. I don't like it. When you hold, for me, I mean, this is a personal thing. When I hold the bars and with the finger, it kind of starts hurting my hand a little bit. I mean, maybe it's different for you if you have different size hands. It might vary from person to person. Me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I'd much rather have like a thumb throttle or a half twist throttle. That's just me. You may like this type. I'm not the biggest fan of it. Now let's talk about value for money. Is the value for money there? I would say that it is. My biggest selling point is definitely the speed. The fact that this goes 28 miles an hour is beautiful. The fact that it has a color display, which is really nice, headlights, brake lights. Also, I might have forgot to mention, but it also has turn signals. That's awesome. Again, I wish the suspension was a little bit softer. If the suspension was a little bit softer, this would have been perfect, especially for the price. Almost a perfect scooter. So overall, would I recommend this scooter? I would say yes if you're using this to commute or maybe ride around the neighborhood and possibly light trail work. If you're getting this just for off-roading, I don't know if I would recommend it for that. Again, the suspension, the scooter is great. I love the size. I love everything about it. The suspension is a little bit too harsh for me. But overall, the value for money is there. Now, I'm pretty sure I covered everything there is to know about this scooter. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to leave a comment down below and I'll do my best to answer. If this review was of any value to you, I would highly appreciate it if you leave a thumbs up. It helps me out tremendously. If you want to see more of these reviews, and there are plenty more coming, definitely hit that subscribe button. But that's pretty much it, guys. My name is Tom. This has been the isinwheel GT1 off-road electric scooter. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.